Up next, the Mavericks taking on the Suns. For the Dallas Mavericks, the chance to start the year right with a win on the road. Never an easy thing to do in this league. Suns, Mavs. Up next, right after this. And it's our favorite day of the year at 2K Sports. At long last, it's time to roll the ball out there and get the new season of NBA basketball underway. Hi, everyone. I'm Brian Anderson, alongside Grant Hill and Clark Kellogg. Our reporter is Allie LaForce. Looking at the starting five for the Dallas Mavericks. Luka and Kyrie are the talented backcourt. Josh Green out there with Grant Williams. And it's Powell in at the 5, roaming the paint. And for the Suns, all the stars on the floor for the Suns. Booker and Beal, the backcourt, and KD up front. Josh Okogie is out there with DeAndre Ayton. Opening day of the regular season, Grant. Nothing quite like this first one of the year.
You know, as a former player, you know firsthand that there's so much anticipation and hard work that goes into making it to opening day. So everyone right now is on a level playing field, and the dream is still alive.
Now here's Durant.
He did everything in his power to make that a hard shot.
And you know what, guys? That will pump him up because he takes a ton of pride in what he does on defense.
Doncic against Booker. And he got the whistle on the way up, so he'll be headed to the line for a pair. Well, Clark, when you talk about Doncic, he came into the league with a ton of experience under his belt.
Yeah, and I think people undervalue the experience of being a pro at the age of 16. It wasn't the NBA, but it's still professional basketball that he played in Europe. And that seasoning and that competition and that being refined in the fire allowed Doncic to step into the NBA unfazed.
The first free throw is good. You know, Grant, thinking back to those 2021 finals, the Suns coming so close to their first championship.
Think about it, B.A. Phoenix had a 2-0 lead over the Bucks, but Giannis then decided to take over. And still, I think that taste of the finals was great for Devin Booker and the Suns.
He's off on the second.
You know, from the moment Luka entered the league, despite the naysayers, he's been a star, a legitimate star. And that's something you don't see very often.
Here's Okogie. Down low. Durant. The basket drops, and he gets fouled on the shot. One free throw coming his way.
Nice way to start the game. That's where you'd like to get your shots from.
And Grant, the Mavericks this summer committing to their superstar tandem of Kyrie Irving and Luka Doncic.
Yeah, B.A. And the next step was surrounding them with the defense and floor spacing they'll need to compete. Overall, I like the moves they made, and we'll see how it all pans out come April.
Grant, usually the Suns rack up lots of assists. They're a team that values ball movement.
Oh, B.A., that's how you create quality looks. By snapping the ball around, it also tells you something about how selfless these guys are.
Tell you what, that defense was physical, and yet Durant, with great balance and composure, just stayed with it.
To the middle. And Powell with the stuff.
Got to give it up for Powell now. I mean, he excels at rising off the ground to punch home these alley-oops.
Pass to Durant. Takes the three. Rebounded by Green.
Yeah, and the defense has really got to tighten up on him. I mean, he's just too dangerous from the three-point line. Don't want to let him get into a rhythm from out there.
2-for-1 opportunity if they can time it right.
A great way to end the quarter.
On the wing, Irving. Hounded by Beal. Took the opportunity when he saw it.
Oh, yeah. Irving, he has the mid-range in his bag now. He can knock those shots down.
Durant surveying the D. Over Williams. No good there with a step-back J. And so it's Irving who brings up the ball for the Mavericks. And it's Green off the drive. And the layup is good off the glass. Durant, pass to Booker. money on the open jump shot. Booker's got 5 now.
You can tell his hustle inspires the entire squad. He really gets everyone so amped up.
And still a close game as the first quarter comes to a close. The Suns on top. They're up by 2. And we'll bring you the start of quarter number 2 when we return. And if you're just joining us, it's been a pretty even game through the first quarter. All right, guys, what stands out to you from the Suns in this one?
Well, they've used the fast break well to score easy points and keep the defense unsettled.
And, you know, for them, guys, it's all about tempo. Keep the pressure on and do so as much as possible.
On the court right now for the Mavericks. Maxi Kleber out there with Rashawn Holmes. Then there's Seth Curry. Then it's Tim Hardaway. And it's Hardy in at the 2. And stolen by Bowl. Outside Booker. Pass to Lee. To the inside. Bowl. And Holmes pulls it down.
You know, I think the effort on defense there has everything to do with why he missed that shot. Well done.
You know, Clark, when you think about the history of this Dallas franchise, one man stands out. That's Dirk.
Yeah, he's worthy of a statue for sure, B.A. He played all 21 seasons of his career with the Mavs. He was the first European MVP in league history. And then in 2011, he helped bring an NBA title to the Mavericks, beating the LeBron Wade-led Heat team.
Kleber outside. The 3 is up. Always a nice way to start. Makes his first one.
As a big, unless you're a dedicated rim runner, have to be some kind of threat from distance.
Booker, the pass to Bates Diop. 40 seconds left in the second quarter. For 3, Booker. And Holmes pulls it down.
He had more than enough room to hit that, just couldn't make it happen.
Here's Hardy. Phoenix grabs the miss. And the first season matchup for them against the Mavericks this year.
Last year, as expected, they had very little trouble against these guys.
Yeah, you know, these are two teams clearly on opposite ends of the continuum in this conference. I mean, this is a team they rightly feel they can beat every time they take the court with them.
Very difficult to slow him down defensively, especially when you have communication problems.
Pass to Bates Diop. Here's Lee. And that's not going to go.
Takes his defensive work seriously. Hardaway Jr. proving to be a difficult stopper.
And we're through the first half of play here in what's been a good one. Mavericks ahead. They're up by 3. And don't go away. After the break, we'll see you right back here for the start of quarter number 3.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're halfway through one of the first games of this fresh NBA season. The first quarter for the Mavericks was fairly even, and they kept it close, trailing by at the most 4 points. And they turned it on during that second quarter, turning that deficit into a lead and playing with confidence. And Kenny, what are your thoughts on how Dallas played?
They run this offense seamlessly. Each guy seems to understand his role. They're making smart decisions with the basketball, and I can give a shout out to the playmakers. This team's success is because of you, brother.
Shaq, what'd you think about Phoenix?
Right now, they're playing well only on one end of the court. All their energy has been spent on the offensive end. And that's a shame. They're just going to keep giving up easy buckets, and the game's going to get away from them.
That about wraps it up. Time now for the second half of the game. We go to Kevin Harlan for the call.
And we've got second half action for you. Thus far, a pretty evenly contested game. Nice game. Great performance by Devin Booker.
Yeah, even with the extra attention he's getting from the defenders, he's finding ways to excel.
Well, we're not surprised by that. No more than what we've come to expect of him. He can adapt and adjust to anything a defense tries to throw at him.
All the stars on the floor for the Suns. Booker and Beal, the backcourt, and KD up front. DeAndre Ayton is out there with Josh Okogie. That's who's out there for Phoenix. And is blocked.
Well, you see the defensive prowess there. I mean, I love when Okogie gets up and sends it back. Not many guys of his size can do that.
And with players like Moran and Giannis last season getting undercut around the rim, would you support moving the charge circle out a foot, Grant?
You know, BA, that's a good idea. I mean, I don't see why not. The league wants more highlights and less injuries, so it seems to make a lot of sense to me.
And let's swing it over to the sideline and hear from Allie.
Josh Green is becoming a key 3-and-D wing in Dallas. Mavs legend Dirk Nowitzki said, quote, he's a great defender already. He's athletic, he plays super, super hard, and now he added the three-pointer to his game. Obviously, that's one thing he needed to get better at. He puts in a lot of work. Brian?
Well, you can see it. It has absolutely paid off. Thanks, Allie. Down to 5 on the shot clock. Dallas needs to get off a shot. And the shot clock expires. 24-second violation.
Boy, in a game this snug, you can ill afford to commit those kinds of turnovers.
Phoenix making some changes. Eubanks, he's checked in for DeAndre Ayton. Bates Diop comes in for Okogie. And it's Gordon in for Bradley Beal. Jones, he's checked in for Dallas. Hardaway comes in for Green. Pass to Booker. Third quarter of play with just over 1.5 minutes gone by. And he's going to the line for 2. The official saw contact while he was going up. It goes on Dwight Powell.
An active shooter. Booker is clever at finding ways to attract fouls on the way up.
The Mavericks making a switch here. Curry's checked in. That one falls, so he hits both of them.
Just so reliable at the line. There was never a doubt that those were money.
Well, you've got to be careful and skillful in how you guard Irving. I mean, he's really adept at drawing fouls.
Shooting for Dallas, Kyrie Irving at the line for 2.
That free throw good from Irving. Both free throws good from Irving.
Free throw shooting is about mechanics, confidence, and your mental approach. He's locked in from there most every night.
Booker against Curry. Booker, the pass to Bates Diop. On the wing, Durant. Here's Eubanks.
And Powell is a really reliable defender. I mean, he's excellent using his length and his quickness to throw shooters off.
17.
We're at the end of the third quarter, and we've still got a close one. The Suns on top, leading by 1. Don't go anywhere. The final quarter is coming up next on 2K Sports. And let's take this opportunity to show you our State Farm assist of the game.
This is the definition of team chemistry. I love to see this kind of communication and connection between teammates leading to the perfect pass.
For me, next to the big-time alley-oops and monster throwdowns, passes like that are probably the next best thing when it comes to sweet-looking NBA highlights.
Get out of your seat and onto your feet.
We've reached the fourth quarter in what has been a very competitive game. Should be an exciting finish. On the court right now for the Mavericks. Luka and Kyrie are the talented backcourt. Grant Williams out there with Derrick Jones. And it's Green in at the 3 slot.
Yes, sticking it to them inside. Good luck throwing Ayton off when he attacks like this.
The Mavericks trailing. And here's Doncic outside. And Ayton pulls it down. And Phoenix shooting around 50% of the game so far. KD jams it straight down.
He's been playing great, unselfish basketball, really putting the rock in the hands of the right shooters.
He is delivering a lot of room service times tonight. One sweet one after another.
And it's Doncic missing.
Would you say testing the limits of his range there?
You know, guys, I think he's got confidence to shoot it from anywhere, but he could have gotten a better one than that.
Pass to Beal. Up and over Doncic. Another one falls for Phoenix.
Looks like they're gaining some confidence here in crunch time.
You can feel the sense of urgency they have to get this thing closed out as soon as possible.
Doncic passes to Green. Doncic against Beal. Dallas no good that time either.
Good contest. Can't let him have open shots from mid-range.
40 seconds left to play in the fourth. And he's going for the oop here. Up high and down it goes on the lob.
This is what winning is all about. Playing your best when it matters most.
Yeah, you know, once they got victory in their view, a huge injection of energy and a great run to finish it off.
And Dallas calls time here. They're down by 9. 35 seconds left in the fourth quarter. And now let's present our New Balance Player of the Game, Devin Booker.
And what an unbelievable offensive performance from him tonight. I mean, it's been crazy fun to watch him just go off. I mean, the defense had no chance. He just kept scoring over and over again.
Hey, these fans love him so much, and when he gets it going, they respond. The crowd's energy fueled his performance. Hardaway, no good. And here are the Suns. It's been 8 unanswered for them. Curry against Beal. So it's Phoenix picking up the win. A competitive game. You have to feel like this crowd gave him a little extra edge.
Yeah, they really fed off the energy. They saw their activity level go up. Just a tremendous performance.
Thank you for coming out and supporting.
All right, now let's check in with Allie LaForce. Allie, what do you have?
We hope to see you again at the next event.
KD, you were able to clamp down defensively as the game wore on. What was the key there?
Well, we stayed patient. We contested shots. They hit some tough ones early on, and I think in the pick and roll, we made a solid adjustment, and we turned that around. Coach made a great adjustment, and we was able to get rebounds and go.
The patience was so important. It paid off. Thanks, KD.
Allie, thank you as always. That concludes the first game of the NBA season. For Clark Kellogg, Grant Hill, and Allie LaForce, this is Brian Anderson. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.